Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the wrap-up, I guess, of the challenge, secret TBR, I don't really know, that I set myself months and months and months ago and actually finished months ago but never filmed this wrap-up. I believe I have a couple clips of me going through like what I'm reading, why I'm reading it, so if I do have those, they'll go here. And I might have an update. So I'm gonna be honest, I forgot I was filming for this video. I kind of just started reading the books and was having such a fun time with it that I didn't film. So first up, I read Wilder Girls on my Kindle. I checked it out from the library and oh my god, y'all just like lied to me. I kept hearing all these reviews of Wilder Girls saying it wasn't good and it didn't end well, and my cat just busted in. Hi! So all I heard was that Wilder Girls wasn't good and the ending wasn't great and all this stuff, and like, yes, the ending is a tad ambiguous and it's kind of just like, wait, what's gonna happen? I think it opens it for a second one. Really, I think that's like what Rory Power was like trying to do, because like it ends on its own and it could stay like that, but it could also have a sequel. That's just my opinion. But I freaking loved it. I don't like horror books and I thought body horror was gonna freak me out and gross me out so bad, but I loved it. I thought it was so good. It was so weird and just awesome. Like, I admit there were some questions that weren't answered, but like, I didn't blame me. That didn't bother me. Like, I was totally on board with all of it. It was so good and I would highly recommend it, especially if you like weird shit. Speaking of weird shit, I read Bunny. This is so fucking weird, but I just like would laugh. Like, I would just sit there and cackle at some of the stuff that goes down in this novel. Like, it is just so good. Buddy, what are you doing? I would just sit and cackle. It's so weird. Like, they turn bunnies. Oh my god, it's so good. I won't spoil anything, but please read this. It's so strange. If you like weird shit, Wilder Girls and Bunny are just perfect, and I get why Kayla loves them, and this experience is going so well because I'm on my third book now. I'm on Dress Codes for Small Towns, which like she says is her all-time favorite book, and I get it. It's so good. I love books that are kind of like small town southern stuff going on. Like, it's so good, and like, oh god, she's like figuring herself out and with her friends, and the friend group's really good. Like, I never realized how much I like tight friend groups until I read books with them, and I just am in love with them. It's just really good and very like comforting. I don't know what it is. There's something cozy about like small town America. I don't know. She's in like Western Kentucky and like her town has 2,000 people in it, and there's a part of me that relates to that. I come from like small town Southern Maryland. Bye! And while it's not small town Kentucky and it's not 2,000 people, it's still got the same vibes in some things, especially in like how people perceive you and, you know, expectations of a conservative town. But I love it. I'm about halfway through and I'm just like flying through it. I'm reading it. I can't read it on my Kindle because it's a Hoopla checkout and you can't get those on your Kindle, which annoys me because Wilder Girls was Libby and that was beautiful. But I'm reading this one on Hoopla, so I have to read it on my phone. So that's annoying, but I'm doing it. And it's been amazing. This was super successful. Spoiler, I loved so many of these books. Spoiler, I listen to pretty much everything Kayla says now after reading these because I agree with everything. There are even books now that weren't in this video that I've read on Kayla's high recommendation that she was like, I don't know, everybody else hates these books, but I think these are really good, kind of weird, like Catherine House, and I freaking loved it. So basically, I've realized that Kayla is my perfect YouTuber. But I'm gonna go through the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 books that I read on Kayla's recommendation. I got these from a variety of places. I got them from her top books of 2020, but especially from her ranking video her tier ranking video that she did right at the beginning of quarantine, I think, or maybe even before that. She ranked a ton of books and it was very helpful in figuring out what her favorite books of all time were. and this is the result. I don't have any of the books to physically show you because I either have them on ebook, check them out of the library, or they're like up on my floating shelves, which are very hard to get to. The first book that I have to talk about is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This book has super mixed reviews. So many people hate the ending. So many people think it just was kind of disappointing and not great. Frickin' loved this book. It was incredible to me. I believe I checked it out from my library and then bought a physical copy, and I flew through this. It was so good. It is about a school of girls on this island off of Maine, and there is a strange tox that has now infected them, and if they have not died, they have weird bodily mutations. So it is a body horror book, and I really liked it. I've heard some reviews say like I did not understand why it did certain things or certain plot points seemed unnecessary, and I understand that. I loved all of it. I thought it was really weird and spooky and dark and fucking strange as all hell. So one book that I gave 5 stars from Kayla's recommendation. It was great. Next up, another really fucking weird book. This is Bunny by Mona Awad. I screamed out loud when reading this book, like in laughter, not in like a like oh my god I'm so scared, like a holy hell, what is this book doing? I fucking love it. I kept talking about it to my mom and she was like, what is that? And I'm like, yeah. It's about this girl in grad school for creative writing, and she has a little workshop class that she has to go to, and the other girls in her workshop class are all very, very good friends. Very close friends, and they all call each other Bunny. And at the beginning of the novel, she kind of hates them, and then she gets sucked into their weirdness, and they are doing some weird ass shit behind closed doors, and I loved it. I loved the twist this took. I loved the ending. I loved all of it because I didn't see where the fuck it was going, and that is my favorite kind of book. The like totally out of left field shit. Love it. Next up, we have Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney C. Stevens. This is a beautiful book. I absolutely loved it. It is about a girl living in a small town with her group of friends. They're very, very close-knit, and she's trying to figure out her identity, and it is accurate. I just think it takes a really accurate depiction of trying to figure out your sexuality, trying to figure out where you land on that spectrum, because it's a very confusing time when you're a teenager. She's trying to figure out who she's in love with, if she's in love with any of her friends or anyone in her town, and it is just really beautifully done. And then on top of all of it, she has been nominated to receive a corn dolly, which is a huge tradition in her town, and most people don't believe she deserves it. I just enjoyed it like a lot, and I understand why this is Kayla's all-time favorite book, because it's just so well done. Oh, we were doing so well. But like at the same time, this makes sense. So next up, I read The Selection by Kiera Cass. Kayla did a Selection reread, and I read the first one as a, like, to join in. I did not read any of the others, and I gave this a 2-star for good reason. I think if you've read it, you kind of get it. It is definitely a quintessential dystopian meets The Bachelor, but I wanted more of The Bachelor, I'm gonna be honest. I loved the premise of this. I think it's a really fun premise. I think it's really cool that each year these girls get picked to basically compete for the prince's love. Not each year. When like they need a princess, they compete for the prince's love, and I wanted more of that, I'm gonna be honest. I gave it a 2-star because I just felt like it went a little insta-lovey, and then on top of it, it was like, come on, show me more of that like catty competition, like let's duke it out emotionally for this prince, and we didn't get that. What was weird though is I gave it 2 stars, and then I thought about it for like a month and a half after, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe I'll keep reading it. And then we went right back to Wonder. I read Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. This book is huge, and I truly thought it was going to take me forever, and I just ate it up. I read it so quickly for me, especially for something kind of science fiction-y, fantastical elements going on. So this is about Roger and Dodger, two twins who were separated when they were born, and even though they are meant to be kept apart, they keep finding themselves coming back to each other, and they're finding that they have these special abilities. Frickin' loved it. So not something I normally read and not something I normally enjoy, but I loved it. I just recently checked out Over the Woodward Wall, which is the book that is within Middle Game, and I can't wait to read that, but I almost want to reread Middle Game just to like understand it a little better, but I loved it. 5 stars. So great. Another book that is just highly contested. This is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I gave this a 5 star because I loved it. Is it pretentious as all hell? Yes. Is it intriguing? Yes. Is it super dark academia? Yes. Loved it. This was one of the first books that made me realize how much I love dark academia. It follows a man as he recounts his story when he was at this university, but it's not really a university. They basically go there to act Shakespeare and learn Shakespeare. And there's a group of them who every year they're in a bunch of Shakespeare plays, and then some shit goes down. And I loved it. It's pretentious. They literally talk in Shakespeare quotes sometimes, and it was fine with me. I loved it. 5 stars. Great book. I haven't read The Secret History. I've heard a lot of people be like, this is basically The Secret History with weird, pretentious aspects. I have it on my TBR and I hope to get to it. Next up, we have Dig by A.S. King. This book is weird. It goes in directions you're not expecting, and it's basically all about these people that have something to do with potatoes. Love it. Love it. Not going to give you anything else, but I thought this was incredible. I want to read more A.S. King immediately. It was so very good. Next up, I read The Raven Boys, which is basically what Kayla is known for loving. That and like Middle Game and Dress Codes for Small Towns. But The Raven Boys is like her thing. I read it for the first time ever, and I gave it a 3 star. It was fine. I liked it. I did not know that's what it was about at all. Like all of the tarot readings and ghosts and ley lines, all of that, I had no idea what The Raven Boys was about, I'm realizing. And I really liked it. I am going to continue with the series eventually. It was great, it was fun, but I did just give it 3 stars because it wasn't anything like incredible for me. The next up we have The Marrow Thieves by Sherry Demeline. This book, I gave it a 5 star. It is incredible. It is about these indigenous people that are running for their lives because they're being harvested for their bone marrow, because people have basically woken up and not been realize that they can't dream anymore, but they realize that the indigenous people can. So they're harvesting them for their bone marrow. They're being hunted and tracked down, and it's incredible. I loved it. I read it on ebook. Great story. Just great, great story. The last book I read for this little challenge I set myself was Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie McLemore. This is the first one of her books I've ever read, and I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3 star because it's not quite for me. I've realized this year that I'm not a big fan of fairy tale retellings, and that is what this is. It basically takes like Snow White, Rose Red, and Swan Lake and mashes them all together to create this really cool retelling. It is about 2 daughters who were born into this family. Basically, this family is cursed so that one of their daughters is always taken by the swans. They don't know which daughter it will be, and it's happened for forever. It's about these 2 sisters who are determined, Blanca y Roja, who are determined to not be taken by the swans. And these other characters, and it's great. It's really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It did take me a while to get through because it's just not my thing. I gave it a 3 star. It's not a bad rating. It was still very good, just not totally my thing. So basically what I learned from this video is that I need to listen to everything Kayla says because I just love everything she recommends. I need to read more A.S. King. There's just so many things now, so many authors that I'm now more interested in reading, so many genres I didn't even realize I liked that much. I loved doing this, and I probably will do this again. I'm not sure with who though, because I do want it to be fairly successful again, and I do want it to take less time because I took forever to do this. So maybe 1 month I'll pick another person and do a taste test. This was inspired by Chandler. If you didn't know, this was, I think Kayla was the first person she taste tested, and that sounds fucking weird, but I really enjoyed doing this. I think I'll do it again soon. I'm not totally sure who to do it with. If you have recommendations, I'll leave them down below, but I thought this was awesome, really fun, and Kayla has impeccable taste in my opinion. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and I'll see you guys again super soon. Bye.